Hi everybody, welcome back to another AI in action session. So before we head on to the main session, like usual, we just go through some new AI news this week. So I'll be just showing a bunch of new releases that have been happening. Some of these are available to you right now. Some of these are in beta testing, but nevertheless, the usefulness and how they can create value for you is insane. So starting with this small video of Opal. So Opal is basically a product. Yeah, just let me know if you can hear the audio. If not, I'll check.
Uh,
No, we cannot hear.
Okay, okay. Yeah, just a second.
you can share it as a tab, and then it will get the voice instead of sharing it as a yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think now it can hear it.
Users more control and
Yes.
transparency over combining all the capabilities of Google models without having to code. Come build in the open with us and shape the future of this product. Let's see what it can do. There are two ways to get started. You can remix apps from our gallery, or you can create your own apps from scratch by clicking Create New. Let's chain together Google models in this example to do deep research on a topic, draft a blog post, and create a video to go with the post. Opal takes the logical description of your flow and creates an AI mini app. Let's check it out. Click Start to run the app. Let's enter Future is No Code as the topic and Tech Freelance Blogger as the use case context. While we wait for Opal to work its magic, let's look at how you can share and edit. To deploy and share, click on Publish Opal and send the URL to a friend or colleague. To edit, let's dive behind the scenes. Opal converts your app description into a multi-step workflow with inputs, generation steps, and output steps. You can click into a step to see the prompt or instructions and edit them directly. For ultimate control, users can build these multi-step workflows directly by adding steps from the toolbar. Heading back to the app view, Opal has generated our blog post and video. We want to see what you build with Opal and shape the future of building with AI models and prompts together. Join us on Discord and try it out.
Yes. So I think here they have shown a very simple example of just creating a blog. But imagine what you can do with that kind of prompt and so much control you have, where a lot of nodes are connected to each other and they're just creating something amazing. So you can even generate like detailed case studies or maybe even user personas for UX people and a whole lot of things. I think once you try it out, you'll realize how slowly the power or that it can do. And then I'm sure it'll be useful for everybody here. So moving on to next small thing. So ChatGPT study mode. I think, I don't know how many people have seen this. There is no audio in this one anyway. It's just a small showcase. So it's basically like, again, they have just shown the study view of, say, solving an assignment or all. But I think the deeper thing is how not just getting the answer is important, but it can also dissect and make you understand how we got that answer, right? So it's just like 2 + 2 is equal to 4, everybody knows, but how we got there, that's how it's going to break it down and make you understand it like a 5-year-old kid. So that's basically study mode, where it breaks down into simpler terms and then you can dive deep into it. So think of, you can even treat it as a master class in certain things if that's what you want. So another small one, again, Claude on the mobile app. It's become like your mini assistant where you can schedule things now directly just by one click.
Yeah, Arpita, are you sharing something? Because we are not able to see anything.
We can see it. We can see it.
Okay.
Oh, let me, maybe you can just refresh your tab or you can rejoin the meeting.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, it's visible otherwise.
So again, here, like they're just doing two things. One is like drafting an email, and all you have to do is press send on which app you want to send it on. And the second is schedule the same, or add the same meeting to your calendar. Again, one click, and you can just add it to your call. So these again are very simplified examples of what it can do. But if you get into that daily use, I think it'll be like your mini co-pilot basically running throughout the day, where you can just speak it out and it will schedule things for you. And this is a little bit older, like as in 2 weeks old, but this was like how ChatGPT is directly making spreadsheets for you. So this is one example he was showing here.
The city of San Francisco's annual budget, expenses and revenues for the past 5 years, and it's going to compile that all into one nicely formatted spreadsheet. It goes on by itself. I usually just close my laptop, go grab a coffee, maybe I have lunch. So first it needs to find the data. So it probably does a web search to figure out where it can find this San Francisco city budget information. Once it finds the San Francisco city government website, it will try to access the PDF files. So it has its own file system and everything. Then it needs to extract maybe 200 numbers from each PDF. And finally, it will have one command that will generate the entire spreadsheet all at once. If you go back to the chat, you'll see the final response. And let me just open it now. Yeah, I think it got 98% of the information correct. It also formatted the Excel workbook as I instructed it to. In this case, the revisions were small, so I just made them within Excel because it was just a copy paste. But absolutely, you can make them in ChatGPT. I would say just try it out. If it can do 95% of the actual time-consuming part of the work, that's going to save you a ton of time.
Yeah, I think exactly like the last part it said, if you're doing 95% of your work, it's definitely worth giving it a shot. And as you can see, like the amount of details it put in that spreadsheet, imagine doing it manually right now. Like, I don't know how many of us are going to go lazy, just like imagining that amount of input in the Excel sheet and whatnot. So just last update. So this is the latest one, that is GenSpark got its Slack integration. So here it just shows the very simple example of how that's going to help you. It's like a super agent that will go through your Slack and find out information and finally give you some insights.
Today, I will show you how I use GenSpark Super Agent to organize and manage all of my Slack messages. So right now, we're trying to plan a team building day using Slack, and I'm responsible for all the information that people are sending, like t-shirt sizes and dietary preferences. And it's just a lot to keep track of manually, so I'm going to ask Super Agent to help me. First, I have to connect my Slack with Super Agent. I'm going to go to Tools, click Add, then I'm going to scroll down until I see Slack, and I'm going to click Install. Then all I have to do is log into my Slack account and give GenSpark permission to access it. And now I just have to make my request. I'm organizing a team building day for my company in the #general Slack channel. Summarize t-shirt sizes, dietary preferences, and activity suggestions from the messages that people have sent in a one-page document. Now, GenSpark is able to go through my recent Slack messages and pull out all the information that I requested. In a few seconds, we should have our summary document. There it is, Team Building Day Summary. At the top here, I can see it summarized all the main ideas, including the number of t-shirt orders. And if we go down a bit, we can see the exact amount of every size that we need based on the Slack messages. Down here, we have people's dietary preferences summarized, and it shows exactly what we need to be aware of. And finally, we have a list of activities that people want to do, as well as an itemized summary of action items to be completed for this event. And all of this was done super easily, just by pulling real information from my Slack, with just...
Yes. So I think he explained it pretty well, like how just a high level of how these tools are going to be working and going to help you in your daily life. It's not just like something that you have to do or use once in a while. So I would definitely urge everyone to try it and see how it increases your productivity, saves time and efficiency, right? So let's dive deep into today's session. So today we have Dheeraj, the director of product, here with us. A lot of requests we've got from people of how, they wonder how leadership teams are using AI itself, because we see a lot of team members ourselves doing from different domains, but like leadership team members who have like such context heavy roles, right? They have to make strategic decisions that involve high stakes. So let's just handing it over to Dheeraj and we'll see what magic he does.
Hey, hi everyone. Thanks, Arpita. I think we saw great hacks and a lot of great news today. Hey, hi Prishita. So just a little bit of background about me before diving deep into it. So I am Dheeraj. I'm director of products at FlytBase. Been doing drones and robotics for nearly my entire professional career. So primarily, I come from deep robotics background. Up until like 7-8 years of my initial career, I spent into coding, etc. But last 3-4 years, I've been doing mostly strategic work, product management related work. So my day-to-day is not coding or anything. It's more of strategic discussions, decision making, providing larger context to the team, etc. And what I have seen is, while development teams are primarily leveraging AI today, the decision makers or leadership teams at various companies, they kind of shy away from using AI. Their primary concern is for me to make any decision, for me to reach any conclusion, or for me to create any document. For my task, there is so much context, there is so much nuance, there are so many things, so many angles that I need to think from, that giving all of that context to AI just seems like a lot of work. And that is exactly what I'm going to show you today. Over last 6 months, I've been trying to adapt myself to AI native way of doing work. And these are some of the hacks, or let's say I'll be showing you where I have reached. There are certainly people who are doing much better than what I'm doing today. But I'm just hoping that this, whatever I can share, would be helpful to some of you. So what I'll do is I'll begin with story of a product that we started to brainstorm about just 2 months ago. So we were thinking that like with overall the way software is going, overall we may not have a lot of value in software 1.2 products where it is just like a piece of logical workflow. Those things will be easily replicated by automatic replicators using AI. So we started thinking about what can we do, especially with the power of AI. What can we build now that we would have thought impossible in our lifetimes, just like a year ago? And then we started discussing about these concepts. And what I'll do is how that concept to this current wherever we are today with that product, how I'm using AI and in a manner where I am building this massive context engine, which helps me do everything that I do on an everyday basis, do it much faster with AI, and bring all of that heavy context that I have like invested time into building over last 2 months, how to do all of that and how it can benefit you. So before showing how to do it, what I'll do is what it does for me on a daily basis. So this product is called Workos. We are doing a public launch anyway in by next Tuesday. So I don't think I have any problem showing that right now. So this is how I use it. So I don't use a great deal of tools. I mostly use ChatGPT, sometimes Claude and GenSpark for presentations. I don't go much beyond that. A lot of super agents that you saw, GenSpark and many of the super agents even make some of the work that I'm doing even more easier, and kind of any repetitive part of it, they can even automate that. So it all begins with projects in ChatGPT or projects in Claude, or if you are using Grok, there are similar concepts everywhere. If you are using regular chat, so I have a huge regular chat history, but regular chats have a problem in the sense that they cannot, in one chat, you cannot reference anything from the other chat. The only way for you to add any context about a new chat is, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. So let me first share that. Yeah. So any way for anybody to, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
So any projects is the way to kind of build all of that context, put everything together in one project. Otherwise, in individual chat, the only way to give context is by adding documents, etc. Projects is much more scalable and helps you bring all of that context together. So with Workos, I started that journey of using projects, and then within projects now I have very good instructions in terms of who I am, what is my background. I have already told AI like ChatGPT about my background in terms of what I have done, etc. What is the product that we are building, and then what I need it to do for me in this project. So I need you to work as my brainstorming partner. I would like you to be innovative, out of the box thinker, etc. And this is more for like a project wide setting. This is what this is how I like. These are the kind of people that I like to be around. So similarly, I want my AI copilot to be also in that mode. And then I have a lot of project files. Now, all these project files did not come on day one. They were generated over time in one of these chats here. It started with one file. Probably, I don't remember anymore, but probably it started with a chat in this project, just instruction and one chat. And then I started pushing so much data. I started discussing a lot of ideas. Whenever in one of the chats, any idea was finalized, then I used to create document, add here. There are many more documents that are not here because they were added to the project, then they were synthesized into new, deeper or higher context documents, and then those were taken out. Because these are finally big documents that represent everything that Workhouse is about from different angles. It explains everything here in this project. So what I'll do is I'll show you now that I have this context and so many chats over that they go back like in the past, even further. So all of these chats, how they help me. Now with Workhouse, it has in these documents, it has understanding of what are we doing, what are we building, what is the tech behind it, what are the key problems that are we solving in that tech, how are we going to create competitive advantage, how are we going to market it, what are the use cases, what are the use cases by different domains that are we going to do. It also has context about what are different teams that we have that are working on that, what is our strategy to get this out in the market, what is the overall long-term strategy, how are you going to pitch it to investors, etc. So you understand how many directions this particular project is going into. And whenever I go into any particular direction and then I like brainstorm with AI and follow and create something which is very specific, then I convert that into a document, add it back in the project. So I'll show you one reference document. For example, Workhouse Overview TV. So this is more like a document. So these are, you'll see a lot of other documents are created, but they are not anymore in the project because their purpose is served. So this is like a document that was created based on a lot of other documents. And it is a continuous mining or synthesis of knowledge into like a higher abstraction level and then remove the previous one. So you'll see a lot of sections on use cases and enterprise, like what are different challenges we'll have to solve, etc. So a lot of this will be public anyway in some time. So what I'll do is I'll show you few things that I do, and then I'll go into how do I create such a document. Okay. So for example, this is something that I was doing earlier this week. So we set up a team to work on Workhouse V1 to be delivered by the end of the week. I'm sharing a transcript of discussion in which we discuss scope, plan, deliverables, responsibilities, etc. Read the transcript, give me the plan, overall deliverables, who will do what, etc. So what we have done is our standard workflow within FlytBase is in any team meeting, the team meeting is for brainstorming or it is for exploring something that we haven't explored ourselves. And then during that, we take a lot of action items and all of those are recorded. And it is all just transcript. The transcript is sent to AI like this. And then now it will create something, but it will not very likely work for me. So what I'll do is, okay, here is another discussion transcript in LinkedIn on overall plan across product management, etc. Analyze this transcript and create a detailed plan. Okay, then now it is going to create a detailed plan. So now I'm just trying to get like bunch of different plans together for different teams. Okay, now put it in a new doc on how are we going to execute, etc. And then now let's work on the first technical discussion transcript that I had provided. Now, if you look at this particular transcript has a very high level overview of what we are going to do. Despite that, when it creates a plan, when it says that, okay, these are the things that we're going to add. For example, it says in the plan, okay, on the marketing side, there is, okay. So even on the marketing side, whenever it says, it suggests something that vision and demo, publish posts on security operations and AI orchestration, customers, etc. So I never gave it all of that context in that, either in my prompts or in my transcript. It was all already present in the Workhouse project. it already knew who are we building this for, what are the key problems that we are solving, etc. So even if I go further and ask it to create me a marketing document, which I can then send to marketing team, even that will be done immediately because it already knows about all those things. It is already part of those documents in the project. For example, there's an example here, sharing a transcript of discussion where our marketing team shared what they need from me about WorkOS and website, brochures to be distributed at EDR. This is a show where we exhibited at, and energy, understand and explain what all is needed from me. So this is a discussion where our marketing team discuss something. I'm asking it, okay, what all are they asking me? And it says, okay, this is what they are asking. And then, okay, can you work on this out of whatever they asked? And here I'm saying, understanding everything from project files, figure out what are key features and USPs of WorkOS for asset managers, security managers in oil and gas industry, how it is offered, how it is different from all the analytics providers they use so far, how FlytBase feed their reservoir data loop, etc. These are some of the details that I'm sharing here. And I'm not giving actual context on what is the USP of WorkOS, etc. I have already done that. And then based on this, it creates this nice detail for me. I do some basic checks in terms of if it misses anything, I add that. And then finally, the document is ready for me. Now, this whole process took me probably 10 to 15 minutes. Without this, it would have taken me at least 2 to 3 hours to give it right context, because without right terminology in terms of what is our USP, how do we compare with other competitors, etc., this whole marketing document would be useless. That is where we spend time. What everybody is doing is, whenever you do only chats and not projects, what happens is you keep giving the same context again and again, and one day you get tired and then you don't give that context. Then AI starts bullshitting you, and then you start not trusting AI, and then you start not using AI. So that's a flywheel. Instead of that, when you go into projects, then it already has that context. Having context is not enough. You have to ask it to go and explicitly read it sometimes, just like I used it here. I did it here. So I asked it, understand everything from the project files, figure out what are key features and USPs. And then it goes and reads, and you'll see in thoughts, it will go and read all these documents. It is reading all these documents to understand everything, to go and create what we do, etc. A quick example, I was reading this paper around overall AI responsible path to AGI, and what are different key risks, etc., and what should be the design guidelines that should be followed in new age AI products so that all these concerns are satisfied. I asked it to go and read this, and then I asked it to go and, okay, I also brainstorm, okay, these are the 4 main risk areas. Add the 4 main risk areas mentioned in this article to your memory as key things to look out for as we build WorkOS. I don't know when those areas are going to be, when we will actually go and work on those risk areas. But now in ChatGPT memory, it is going to consider that every time I ask it to do something, it is going to warn me about those key like safety risks in terms of AGI. So that is also quite helpful. Apart from this, like there are a bunch of ideas that I'm discussing, and then basically it's just a discussion. And then good thing here, I am again brainstorming with it. A big concern is our right to win, etc. There's a lot of strategy here, like why FlytBase should have a strategy, right to win. And I would like to create some of these slides for my team, etc. And then eventually I started creating a big document out of this, which also is now again in our WorkOS knowledge base. Because whenever I'm discussing something strategic as, okay, what is our right to win, I'm also deriving that based off of a lot of technical nuances that we have in our product, why we have some kind of advantage in terms of marketing or in terms of previous products that we have done. All of those I'm synthesizing into one final document, that why FlytBase has the right to win compared to everybody. Now that document itself is very useful sometime later when I'm creating pitch deck for investors. If I don't have that, and if I give everything around WorkOS, it is not going to do a good job directly. But having that an intermediate layer will help me create that pitch deck. So I'll quickly get into how I do this today. So for example, what I'll do is I'll give you an example where I create a lot of MOUs. So in my job with WorkOS is to get a lot of these design partners to work with us. And what I have done is I have created multiple MOUs. These are memorandum of understanding with Fortune 500 companies who are interested into WorkOS. And what I'm doing is we had to do a lot of these MOUs so that some of these design partners would eventually convert into commercial customers. So I needed to do these MOUs fast, not like few hours per MOU, but I wanted to do those like 10 minutes a MOU. That's it, 10 minutes per MOU. And this is the workflow that I figured out. And having advantage of having all your work knowledge in projects helped. Then also there is one more step that you have to do. There is one more important aspect of creating any good document or any good outcome from AI. For example, I'm just going to reflect in this thread. I have done multiple MOUs. I'm going to ask it to reflect what are the different steps that we have done. And then what I'll do is I'll create an MOU. I've just added a fictional client Nike for now. And what I'll do is I'm sharing a meeting transcript between FlytBase and Nike team about WorkOS. Read that to understand any use cases, etc. Think about what all you can get from that transcript, which we need in MOU. And then tell me what else do you need from me that is not present in transcript. Okay, so before I give this prompt, or maybe we can just leave it and I'll show you what it said here. So it has just observed my entire process of creating a lot of MOUs in the past in this same thread. And it is telling me that ingest and prep, gather source material, meeting transcripts, slide decks, etc. From this, what we figure out is extract customer needs, like pull out every explicit challenge or gap the customer cites in their own words, capture use cases, notes high value scenarios they mention, etc. Then log down structure. Then we draft core sections. There are multiple sections in the MOU. Then populate, collaborate, next steps, etc. Preview, validation, sign off, readiness. Okay. Now, based on this, it has read the, okay, now it hasn't read the transcript yet. So let me add the file. So this is a fake transcript that I have generated. It has a lot of real details, but from a fake customer. This is the transcript for Nike. Use this to analyze. And then it will go and analyze this transcript. It probably said this because of the previous transcripts that I have shared. Okay, extracted Nike specific use cases and pain points, perimeter and emergency response.
Does it refer to your older MOUs also?
Yes, it will. And I will specifically ask it not to for specific sections. And for specific sections, I'll say go and refer to that. Because within MOU, for example, there is information about FlytBase. Now, I want it to refer to that and use that. But there are some sections where customer challenges. Now, that has to be fresh based on this. So since I have done about 5 MOUs in this thread itself, now it knows what to copy, what not to copy. So extracted Nike specific use cases, parking lot, high voltage yard, etc.
It is safe to assume the 5th MOU will be better than the first one.
So what I have observed is first MOU, it took me a couple of hours to get there because I was also figuring out the process. Second, third MOU has become simpler when I'm able to get those MOUs nearly in 0 shot or 1 shot, like MOU that I can copy and format and send to customer, like a Fortune 500 customer to that level. The time has been shortening. I don't know if it is getting better because I'm not changing anything in terms of structure. What it is getting better at is getting to my final outcome in 0 shot or 1 shot. I would call that getting better, in other words.
Okay.
So what's missing, what we still need from you? Verbatim quotes and timestamps, site metrics and scale. Okay. Priority ranking of use cases, existing use case data sources, etc. So what I'll do is, I think you are looking, so I'll just chat with it. So this is my new workflow where I just use the dictate button. So I think you are asking for too much data. I don't think we need so much data. I will give you site acreage, etc. I think they have about 2 million square feet warehouses. We are anyway going to be looking outside the warehouses, but overall, I think they are in some 20 to 30 acre area for each facility. Number of parking spots per lot, we can assume safely like 200 to 500 lots. Then current petrol frequency, I think you can just make some assumptions for now. I don't even know what that is. And we don't need to worry about that for MOU because we are in early stage. So now it will take my inputs. It knows already what it knows in terms of what are these. And I just gave it what it lacked. And then I'll say, okay, now you have everything. Let's go through creating a first draft of the MOU, and then we'll work on that draft side by side. So it already knows MOU structure because we have finalized already, and then mapping Nike inputs, etc. What it will do is what I still need from you, verbatim codes, etc. Let's not worry about it. Now it will go and create this MOU for me, and it already knows what workhorse does, etc. So FlytBase and Nike, you'll see nearly everything that is like automatically, and it is following everything strictly. About FlytBase, it has copied from previous MOUs. Nike's facilities include 2 million square foot of warehouse spaces spanning 20 to 30 per site. This is what I just told it because it did not get this from the transcript. Rest everything is transcript, current business challenges, shared vision and ambition. And this is again rooted into like workhorse together with Nike. FlytBase will refine workhorse, etc. So it is very highly contextual. It has also created a phase-wise plan. Now, if I need any changes to this plan, I'll just give it at a broad level. And anywhere, what I do is one learning that I have done is if it gets this like keyword wrong, never go and fix that keyword. Try to go back and figure out what primary or core idea it has gotten wrong. That is why it is resulting in this. Go and fix that at the root. ChatGPT and these AI tools in 2023-24 versus today have a major difference. Back then, they would hallucinate. There was no way to go back and tell them something fundamental that they can use to go and derive higher level stuff. Today, they can do. So if it gets this term wrong, I better go and understand why it is getting this term wrong, what kind of some basic knowledge was given it in a wrong way, or some different concept it has learned, which I did not ask it to, is causing this. And then I'll go and fix that, and then this will be done automatically. Then I don't need to keep repeating this again. So that is one of the biggest things. And then exploration themes and what are we going to do, approach to collaboration, next steps, etc. And probably I'll spot 1 or 2 errors in this. I will go and correct that, and this MOU will be ready to send. So you saw how much time it took, probably 10 minutes. And that's also because I was walking you through it. And then what I can do is, one of the things I think one of the or people from audience just asked, what did we learn new in this MOU process that we can add to our current workflow of creating MOU? And then I will ask it to memorize that as well, that this is our workflow process. So when we started, you saw I asked it what is our current process of doing a MOU, and it was like it gave me this process, and then I'll ask it for any explicit changes in that process. So if I need, I can use some of these, etc. So that is at a high level. So what I'll do is I'll summarize everywhere. So I also use GemSpark, and even within GemSpark, the key is so GemSpark is used for creating presentations. What I do is I don't ask it to simply do something for me. I always give it a lot of context in terms of what I want. Then I explicitly ask it, don't create slides yet. In case of ChatGPT, what I say is whenever I ask for MOU, I say don't create MOU first. First brainstorm with me. What have you understood from that transcript? What user requirements have you understood? And once I sign off on those, then only I will ask it to create MOU. Similarly for slides, that is my workflow. I ask it, don't create slides, let's create an overview of slides first. If I like that, then I will go and ask it, okay, here I'm playing with it, okay, these I want these in 5 slides only. And then within that slide, like what I want, etc. And a lot of that is just voice interaction. I don't type all of that. It doesn't take that much time. And then whatever I'm doing, even at this time, I haven't started like creating slides. Presentation is created here. Sounds good. Let's keep the presentation circuit on point. Go ahead and build the slides. Everybody who initially uses GenSpark, including me, the first thing we do is we use ChatGPT to create slides. Like what are the slides that I want, and we paste it in GenSpark and ask it to create slides. It gives very like a lot of bullshit output because it doesn't have context about what are you trying to do. It also needs all of that deep context. So bringing those documents from ChatGPT to GenSpark chat helps, and then like going through what are you going to show? Do I like that? Is that conveying my message or not? You have to do all of that brainstorming with it. Then go and ask it to create slides, and you will love them in 0 shot, 1 shot, 2 shots at max. It won't take you 10 shots to get to the right outcome. So I will just summarize though. So at a high level, what I do is I use project files a lot. Whenever I'm creating any kind of outcome, it might be document, it might be internal document, customer facing document, proposals, investor pitch, etc. I don't ask it to create it directly. First thing I do is ask it, brainstorm with it, how do we create it? What are the different steps that we will have to go through? What are different aspects of that document we will have to brainstorm first? And then go and do all of that. While doing that, a lot of new ideas will come in. That will also help me control the final outcome. Without that tight control on what it is going to give at the end, there is no use of looking at that output. It's just going to waste my time. So what helps is the control that you want on the document that AI generates is not done after the document is generated. It is done well before the document is generated. So it has to be started whenever you start the first prompt that, okay, I want to create this, let's say proposal for this customer. The question should not be, the prompt should not say, go and create the proposal. The prompt should be, what does it take to create a like solid proposal that will get me this customer? Then it will say something, then you decide, okay, what exactly you want to use from that, and then you take it from there. So that is the workflow I follow. And I think overall, creating all these lot of documents in terms of overall project files, etc., has helped me do a lot of my work quite fast. Yeah, I think I'll take a pause here and open for any questions.
Yes, Dheeraj, so there are a few questions in the chat. So, yeah, Parth is asking that lately have been seeing memory loss when threads get long. How are you handling that?
So simple solution for this is in your chat, you ask ChatGPT to summarize, or whatever AI tool you are using, ask it to summarize what you are doing. One is summarize, one is to create a very long document. ChatGPT doesn't say the context window is over. Claude says that. So at least with Claude now, I am habitual to creating, like as soon as I know that I have done enough and probably it will expire now, I kind of go and create that consolidated document so that I can take the context to the next chat. And a lot of times I ask ChatGPT or Claude explicitly to give me a new prompt for the new thread where I am going to transfer this context. So document of context plus this prompt. So I ask it to create this prompt and then take it there. So that helps a lot. And again, you have to continuously think about whenever you have brainstormed enough on an idea, an aspect of whatever you're trying to do, you need to consolidate it in a document, store it in your local file system right now, at least. Eventually, you don't need to do that, but store that, then feed it in the project files. Okay, this is related to reading. Okay. Do you have a project context-based concept in GenSpark as well? I haven't seen that yet. Anybody else, if you guys know, you can correct me, but I haven't seen that in GenSpark. That is why I have to put all my documents like one in one GenSpark chat thread.
No, it does not. It does not have project concept. So yeah, but it has like files, but you have to specifically like attach those files whenever you're working on something.
Yeah. So I think Parth, just that guessing if we are out of context window is a little hard. Yeah. So I think with Claude, you will get a hang of it. With ChatGPT, the context window never expires, but you will start that model is forgetting things. So I think I have gone very long in terms of this MOU thread. I haven't experienced that yet, possibly because what I have done is it doesn't need to remember my entire thread. It needs to only remember what I have like summarized as what is our workflow of creating MOUs and what exactly do we copy from previous MOUs. So it just needs to remember that. So since I have done that explicitly, probably it helps it better because whatever I'm trying to ask next correlates to that. So if you probably, go into inner workings of LLMs, you'll realize that whatever you're asking in the chat thread, if it has some kind of similarity with rest of the stuff, then for very long context threads, then that will be used, not entire thread. So
I think that is where what Dheeraj shared, that whenever you arrive at something, if you can summarize it, if you can condense it into a document and attach it to your project files, then that helps keep it on track.
Yeah. Although I have been using Fireflies for meeting notes, however, any meeting note taker AI tool. So for our internal meetings, what we do is, so all our internal meetings, team-wide meetings are recorded. We use just phone regular recorder apps, and then we use Google AI Studio to convert those because we mostly speak in Hindi. There are no English conversations, and a lot of note taker tools that I have tried, they did not work very well with Hindi English mixed transcription. So Google AI Studio does that very well. It gets our transcripts in English, which are very close. I would say 95-98% close. Doesn't miss anything.
Awesome. Thanks, Dheeraj.
How do you manage versions of any document if it goes through multiple iterations? So it depends on you. So basically, the workhouse team version document that you saw, that is the document. There were a lot of documents that preceded that doc, and those had different areas that I had gone deep into. And eventually, I found that in this doc, I was able to put everything together. So then I discarded those. And versions of doc. So finally, for me, what matters is my AI project or ChatGPT project has a clear understanding of what are the use cases. So within that, I don't care about right now versioning as much. I just keep the latest version. That's all I care about. I think for coding and maybe some other projects, versioning might be important. For now, I'm just manually doing all of this. I'm sure eventually we will have much better tools where you won't have to even do all of this. It will keep generating all those memories on its own. Do you only use ChatGPT or other AI tools as well, like Claude, Grok? I use Claude Desktop, and Claude, just a web browser sometimes. Chat. So basically, I have same project files both in Claude as well as ChatGPT. Claude I usually used for product brainstorming, etc. If I'm trying to create some screens, show some demo to customers, etc. So at that time, just those project files helps. But again, adding project files is not enough. Everywhere I go, what I have to do is I have to ask the AI to first read those project files, use those project files to build something in the current context. For example, if I am creating a security solution presentation for a customer, what I do is in Claude is go and read all my files and try to understand what Workhorse does on security solutions. Once it has analyzed those, created a new chat like with a lot of LLM output, then I will go and ask it to create, okay, now I want to go to a customer and I want to show them this. And based on all of this and rest of the project files, can you go and create this? So I think that is how the whole memory transfer or context transfer happens.
Okay. Dheeraj, can the context get transferred for various business geographies with the same set of intelligence? Assumingly, we operate, say, LATAM and then Middle East or North America. So can we give the same context to multiple geographies? I'm asking, I don't know.
What do you mean when you say multiple geographies? I didn't understand.
I think Yogesh, how you have to think about it is like if you had people, like think
Yes.
of AI as a person. Now, what is it that is transferable and what is not? So there are certain aspects that are transferable because your product knowledge will probably remain the same, but use cases, or the way those customers are going to interact with your product might change. So it's very similar to how you would work with humans, and what kind of training will remain similar between people working on different geographies versus what will be different between them.
Okay. Point noted.
Okay, so there were questions on which models do you use. I use O4 Mini a lot because it's a reasoning model that is quite fast and quite good. It has all the balances. Reasoning, because most of the work that I do, I ask it to derive something off of something. It's not really just like text copy, etc. There is some reasoning in terms of if this is the technical capabilities that Workos has, then for this customer, what can it solve? Now that there is some reasoning, there's not just text relationship. So that is why I use reasoning models a lot. But I think most of my work can also be done with 4.0. I use GPT 4.5 preview sometimes. There is very limited quota available in the like even in the paid plan. So I use that sometimes when I have to create very high quality text. Sonnet 4 in Claude, that's what I mostly use. I haven't tried Opus yet. Any thoughts on Notebook LM? Notebook LM I used, I think, like 3-4 months ago. It was quite good. Whenever you're trying to get multiple documents and you're trying to create a new version out of it, etc., that time Notebook LM is good. But otherwise, for using a document and creating, like brainstorming on that and creating new on top of that, I don't think Notebook LM was suited for that. At least at that time, I haven't used it recently. How do you verify if data given or generated by GPT is latest or correct? Do you go out of GPT and check? How to give multidimensional context? Let's say there is an interdependency of context, which you are not sure as of now, but you need to consider it. I think some example, Harith, would be helpful here. But how do you verify if data given or generated by GPT is latest or correct? So since I have been operating on this project, I know nearly everything that it is giving, whether I can verify it myself. Sometimes I ask it to go and do research in terms of web research, go and figure out this thing. For example, go and take out oil and gas industry stats about something, etc. In those cases, what I do is I quickly do, like give the same prompt to ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Deep Research, and then I just look at is somebody just screwing me by doing something. I think there are a lot of strategies in terms of asking ChatGPT to go and verify it, rather than just some of my colleagues, they don't even look at the first answer that ChatGPT or anybody gives. They ask it to just go and review it, and then they go and take a look at it. That is, I think, another strategy that can help. I think we have covered. Yeah, I think we have covered. Yeah. I think like the basic learning from this session, in my opinion, is like everybody is using ChatGPT. There are many people using GenSpark and so on. So it's no longer about like what tools we are using. It is about how we are using them. Because if we are not thinking in the right way, and if we are not using them with the right mindset, then the results that we will get will not be optimal, and we will end up spending still hours getting these things done, because I know many people are using these tools, but they're still spending hours in getting these documents prepared. But somebody who is using it with the right mindset is able to do that in minutes. So there is a huge difference in terms of how or what quality of outcomes you are able to get with the same tool, depending on what mindset you're operating with. So understanding some of those things, some of those nuances of how to provide it with the right context, how to do it in a step-by-step manner so that it is able to think correctly, and you are able to verify whether it is thinking and doing things in the right order before you get to the final outcome. So some of those strategies really help you arrive at much better outcomes. And it's something that Dheeraj mentioned is very, very important, that in case you observe some mistakes in the final output, don't go and manually correct it, but go back and ask or figure out like where did the context go wrong? Why did it generate that output in the first place? And prompt it to fix that understanding, not the output, but the understanding, the root cause of that failure. And once you do that, then you'll be able to get the right outcome.
Pranay has also shared some of his learnings. I think those make a lot of sense. Brainstorming partners, summarizing, creating docs, and doing it in projects. Right. So thanks so much, Dheeraj. That was wonderful. Arpita, anything else that you want to add?
No, yeah, I think we can wrap it up. I can see from audience's response, it was pretty insightful for everybody. So just stay tuned, guys, for the next AI in Action session also. Hopefully, all of them have been pretty insightful, and it will be keep being insightful for the next time also. So thank you.
I think we have a DevX session on Saturday morning.
Yes.
In person session. Those of you who are in Pune, we have an in-person session, and you can find more details on our WhatsApp group. But otherwise, online session we'll meet again next Thursday.
Yes, that's right. Okay, guys, see you soon then. Yes, stay up. We will keep you updated on the WhatsApp group, so please do join it. And yes, thank you for being such a great audience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank